This is BF Art, and I just want to say I've been watching a few videos about time, space, consciousness, God. How can God exist in this, without outside of this? And I've wrote some things about, basically how can something be created or destroyed with no time? Since if there's a beginning or ending, then how can it be? Because it's a measure of time. And this is reiterated through theoretical bullshit. And I've just seen one with a response to his. And apparently, Christians and those other spiritual people out there that say God is in one moment, and theoretical bullshit goes into one moment, and if there's only one moment, but then there is no physical, then that is really nothing. And I've transcribed God to be nothing before, and it's really hard to transcribe that because you have to look at our world or our universe, and basically there's a plus and minus, negative, positive, and for everything in our universe, black and white, and so that's dualism. Okay, so if supposedly God is everything in this universe, but then God is nothing, that's a dualistic aspect of God. I don't really I'm just theorizing, I don't really know, but basically theoretical BS goes into that you have to give one or the other. Either God exists with time, or I forget his other, or he's nothing, or it's nothing. And so I was thinking about frequency, and I was just writing out, questions, and it just kept on looping me back, as if how can consciousness exist with no time? Because memory only exists with time. And so it kept on looping me back, and like I said, I just watched one from Blue Falcon, and he was talking about if consciousness, if God had a consciousness, I don't really know what he was going into, but basically he couldn't do anything in this world if he's outside of time, because then therefore, and so how could he have created it? So I have to go back that God does exist in time, but out of our time. Blue Falcon mentioned that, basically he compared that everything has its own time. Like a goldfish has its own time that it goes through, but its memory is only 10 seconds, so we can't really even fathom what it perceives time as. And think about that as think about God like that, I guess. What about if in God's eyes, or I don't know, in its consciousness, because I don't really put anything physical with God, but time is a physical attribute. So see, these are just rambles. I don't know exactly where I'm going. So what about if so frequency is just a vibration at which something is in, or something is vibrating at. And so the faster you vibrate, then everything is, and everything moves faster, including time. So that would create much less time for God. Trillions of years in our time would be maybe 10 minutes in God's time. And if you think about it like that, then us humans only have like a really short memory span, like, and that's one lifetime. And so it's kind of really hard. And the only way we can comprehend God at this moment, or that frequency, or that time that God exists in, is by naming it one moment. By naming, because in all of our moments, it is just one moment for it. I um, I would say that that's the only way we can. That's why we have labeled it as one moment, is because that's the only way we can fathom it within our consciousness, within the level of vibration that we are vibrating at, or the frequency we are vibrating at. And so I don't know what anything would be said about this. Um, God is nothing, God is everything. Um, is that it just, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. And like you can wrap your mind around it for hours and hours and hours, and then we still will only have a small foundation to fathom what God is. So that's just how I see it. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know how. You can never know, right? Truly, because you can never truly fathom it, or and how some people put it, you can never truly represent it or give it a logical conclusion, or see it, or physically perceive it. So you can never know. So I think this whole debate that's going on on YouTube right now, whether God exists or doesn't exist, or I think it's just a time loop, and it just a waste of time. Because what about if God existed and God didn't exist? Wouldn't that kind of make sense in this dual realm of existence? And so that's the only way I can fathom it at this point, and that's the only way I can do anything. And as far as living forward, moving forward within the moment, is it's both.